Welcome, Wondering Souls. This is Elizabeth. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time to my channel. I'm doing a pick a card reading today, and we've got 3 piles here. It's just going to be another kind of see what comes up type of reading. And let me go ahead and show you group 1. This is the green agate slice and the key. In group 2, you have this tan slice of agate and this key. And group 3, you have this purple slice and this key. So choose your pile. I'll put the timestamps down below and I'll see you there. Thanks. Welcome, group 1. You chose the green slice of agate and this key right here. And I have some cards from the Tarot de Mantegna Latin Spelder deck to start you off. So we have Cleo. She's one of the 9 muses. And Fide, faith. And that's really interesting because both of these cards came out in the reading I did last night, the reading I recorded last night. So Cleo is the muse of, I'm going to say poetry, but let me look it up real quick. Oh, the first thing that comes up for her is sensitivity. So Cleo, in her light aspect or upright aspect, represents sensitivity, goodness of mind, patronage, and innovative artistic projects. And then reversed, she can mean excessive sensitivity, misconception, evaluation mistake, and unrealizable dreams. Okay, and then Fide is one of the virtues, I believe. Yeah. So Fide means faith, and upright in the light position, she means trust granted or received, fealty, loyalty, devotion, and attachment to an idea or person. And reversed, she could represent a loss of confidence in oneself or in others, disillusionment and sorrow. So I kind of feel like group 1, you might be kind of questioning where your loyalties lie, what's worth investing in, what's worth, putting your manifestation energy towards, and, trying to maintain a realistic look on things while also allowing yourself to dream enough to be able to, create and manifest and bring new things in for yourself. So let's see what else comes up here. I want to get a card from the Animal Spirit Oracle. We also have a dog with Fide for, loyalty, devotion, and then a swan. Cleo is riding on a swan. So those animals can be significant if you're looking for animal signs. So we have the crocodile, a water animal, water energy. So crocodiles make me think about patience and waiting for the right moment to strike. They're very still, can barely even tell that they're breathing some of the time. And they also have that cool, wet energy as well. Where's the book? Let's see what the book says about the crocodile. So the crocodile represents resting, submerging, collecting energy, and cooling off. The crocodile reminds us to step back from the external world and turn inward. Now is not the time for decisions, action, or discussion. The crocodile's mantra is wait. This doesn't mean lying around hoping life's challenges will disappear. The crocodile is much smarter than that. It means intentionally withdrawing, gathering our awareness, observing, and building energy. Fill up the vital reserves so your next move comes from a place of wisdom and power. When in balance, the crocodile is wise and patient, a silent powerhouse, and when out of balance, feels stuck and lashes out. To bring into balance, rest, Makarasana pose. It's a yoga pose. Oh, I wonder if I've ever done that one on my yoga videos. It's a good one. I do that one a lot. I like it. But look it up. Okay, so yeah, that kind of ties in with what we were talking about, I think, because it sounds like you've got some mental chatter going on maybe about what's worth going after, what you shouldn't go after. And then with Cleo here, it's like maybe there's some emotional issues too, like you're wondering whether you're being sensitive enough or not sensitive enough in a certain situation. And the crocodile is saying to just kind of cool off and wait. And I think this reading might be for me today too. It's funny because a lot of these messages are kind of an echo of what I've been working with on my own. I'm also getting a mother energy from this crocodile for some reason. I don't really know much about the mothering styles of crocodiles, but for some reason it's coming through. I know that Anjaneya, Hanuman, sired a child from a crocodile mother, so I don't know if maybe that's why I'm thinking about that. Getting a card for you from the Woodland Warden's deck. Hold on. I feel like this is the one we should take. So we have this squirrel and chestnut preparation. More about so I'm getting a lot of hangman and hermit energy right now from you guys. It's not a time for action. It's a time for preparation and doing the inner work, looking within yourself to really sit with your feelings, your spirituality, and your thoughts, and just to kind of mentally, emotionally, and spiritually prepare yourself for what may be coming up next. And you'll know when it's time to act. Let's see what the book says. 29, the squirrel and the chestnut. To ensure sustenance through the winter, the squirrel buries its nuts, hiding them from other squirrels and predators. Chestnuts, small nuts that grow into large productive trees, are symbols of abundance. Together, the squirrel and chestnut remind us that careful preparation will often yield riches. You have prepared well and can expect to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Your resourcefulness and foresight will be rewarded. And then in the kind of shadow aspect, I guess, it says, prepare for the winter ahead. While fun and games are necessary parts of life, don't become so distracted that you forget to provide for yourself. Am I prepared for the future? And have I been working hard to achieve my goals? Also kind of like a little bit of an ant and the grasshopper type of energy coming through there. Like, you don't want to be idle. You gotta keep doing the things that you do need to do. Even though I'm saying it's time to wait, but there's also little things we need to do every day. Maybe there's certain things that are on our mind that we just need to sit with and wait until the time is right to act. But when the time's right to act, we need to do it. Okay, so let me get some tarot cards. I'm going to use the Rider-Waite. Over for a second there. Four of Swords. Yep, same type of thing. Like a time to wait. And I don't know what it is that what is it that group 1 is pondering or contemplating? We've got the Two of Wands. So you're definitely at a crossroads, a decision point between two choices that are going to affect the course of the future, and you're trying to look at the big picture. But right now, it's time to hold back, wait, reflect. What are these two pathways? Got the High Priestess. That could mean I'm supposed to know. And we've got the Nine of Cups. So one thing, on one hand, the High Priestess could be coming up because it's like a secret. Like, what are those two pathways? You just need to listen to your intuition. It's going to be different for everybody. But another thing this could mean is like, maybe you're considering a more spiritual path versus a more mundane, worldly path, because this Nine of Cups, is someone who's just enjoying the feast of the three-dimensional world. It's about wish fulfillment, but it's like very very materialistic type of wish fulfillment. And the High Priestess is more concerned with the esoteric, the more spiritual mysteries in life. So maybe you're trying to kind of decide whether to go deep with something or kind of keep it on a surface level, especially with faith coming up as well. And with Cleo, it's like, okay, how sensitive do I want to be? How deep do you want to go? So I think that might be part of what you're dealing with, if that makes any sense. other messages for group 1 I need to bring up? The devil. I don't think I can show the devil card, but yeah, there may be some temptation or addiction involved, especially with that 9 of Cups coming up as well. That can be a card that talks about alcoholism or addiction. Maybe you're deciding whether to leave that addiction behind and take a more spiritual path, like a path of celibacy, path of, not celibacy, but, you know, abstinence from whatever that addiction might be. It could be celibacy, you know, it could be referring to sex as an addiction as well. Anything else coming up? So we've got the Ace of Pentacles, the 8 of Wands, the 3 of Pentacles, the 3 of Cups, and Judgment. Okay, so with the Ace of Pentacles and the 8 of Wands coming up, I think that's about basically that you're gonna know when it's time to act, when it's time to move forward, when it's time to invest in something. You will receive a sign, a message from the universe. Okay, and then with the 3 of Pentacles, the 3 of Cups, and the Judgment card coming up, this is all kind of tying at that same idea that you're going to know when it's time to act, when it's time to move forward, but when it's time for things to come back together. There may be someone involved here that you need to kind of reunite with, regroup with, have a heart-to-heart conversation with. But I kind of get the vibe with the High Priestess and the Four of Swords. Now is not the time to have that conversation, but when it is that time, you're gonna know. Like I said, this is also this is tying in for me too. I can see how I need to listen to this one. All right, I'm gonna get a card from the Yogic Oracle and maybe some Lenormand cards too. And I want to get some Scrabble tiles for y'all too, but I just realized I have to go grab those. They're in another room. All right, Ajna popped out. Let's get one more of these. The third eye chakra, listening to your intuition, along with the High Priestess. I also feel like the crocodile, for some reason, I'm getting like that intuition vibe. Okay, we have Kappa. And look who I was just talking about, and here he is, Hanuman. Cool. All right, so with Kappa, that's about taking that time to rest, to regroup. Kappa dosha is that earthy, watery energy. It's also associated with like the winter time, which at the time of filming this, technically it is winter. It feels a little springy today over here in Texas, but technically it's still winter. So it's that time for hibernation, time for contemplation, waiting. But you don't want to get stuck in that Kappa energy forever. Eventually it's going to be time to start moving towards things again. And Ajna is here to remind you to listen to your intuition. And then we also have Hanumanji. So what does Hanuman want to say? I think he's just saying he's here to guide you. We have Fide coming out with faith and devotion, and Hanuman is known for his heroism. He's a very powerful, like superhero type of deity, but also he's known for his devotion. He's like the most devoted of servants, as well as being the most powerful of heroes. So that's just, I think that's why he's here, to just remind you to stay humble, stay devoted to your higher power. And yeah, let me look him up in the guidebook too, just to see if there's anything else that comes up. He's also an avatar of Lord Shiva, if you work with Lord Shiva. Oh, courage, okay. Hanuman, the god of courage. Hanuman represents the evolved mind and the potential we all have to no longer be enslaved to our thoughts, but rather surpass them. Okay, so we were talking about that earlier, about how you might be weighing something in your thoughts and emotions. When Lord Rama asks Hanuman, "How do you look upon me?" Hanuman answers, "When I believe I am the body, then I am your faithful servant. When I know I am the soul, I know myself to be a spark of your eternal light. And when I have the vision of truth, you and I, my Lord, are one and the same." To draw upon Hanuman symbolizes you are aware of this truth. You are more than your physical body, your ego self, your personality, and your soul. The truth is that you are the divine, as we all are, split from the same source. Continue to practice meditative states where you are reminded of this universal truth to aid in your evolvement. Yeah, so it's talking a lot about how we're all connected. We all came from the dust of the same star. So I think that's always important for us to keep in mind as people. Like, whenever we're having issues with others, like, sometimes it's hard to forgive and let go of resentment. But if we keep coming back to that knowledge that we all came from the same place, other people, as backwards as they might be, as wrong as they might be, as evil as they may be, they think they're doing the right thing, usually, so equanimity. Equanimity. It also is reminding me right now of Matthew 25, 31 through 46. I keep talking about that, but basically it's the passage where Jesus is talking and he says, when I was a stranger, you welcomed me in. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me drink. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was sick and in prison, you visited me. And then people say, when did we do these things for you, Lord? And Jesus says, when you did this for the least of these, you did so unto me. And the people who did those things get a pat on the back and a thumbs up, but people who didn't get tossed into the lake of fire with the devil and his angels. So always remember, the least of these are just another mirrored aspect of God. Oh, look who came to see us as well, the sun. Lord Rama made an appearance as well. Okay, so let's see. Where's the Moon Woman deck? Shining the light on the truth. 31. So the sun represents energy, happiness, luck, a positive outcome, and health. The sun card is a symbol of life energy, prana, intentions to achieve the desired results, and the concurrence of higher forces. It signifies success in all spheres, radiance of glory, victory in competition, material and spiritual prosperity, joy of life, enthusiasm for one's vocation, and achievement of goals. It refers to all aspects of creativity. In the presence of this card softens negative spreads. Well, this has been a pretty positive spread, so it's just adding more positivity in this case. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it there. So yeah, I think that the sun is here to shine that light of positivity and give you that faith and hope that if you just keep your focus on your higher power, whatever that means to you, and take some time to just be quiet and relax for now, wait until the time is right to move forward, then that's the best you can do. I'm gonna go grab my Scrabble tiles. I'll be right back. All right, what messages do we have for group number 1? Okay, I have the word knave. I have the word sun. Tractor? I don't know what this might mean for anybody out there. Moot? All right, that's what came up first. Let me show you what it says. Knave, sun, tractor, moot. Okay. We have Sita Ram. So Hanuman chants Sita Ram. Fair. Crest. Fair Crest. That sounds, is that like a place? That sounds like either a street name or a city. Fair Crest. mount. We have the word croy. Sorry, croy. We have the word croy. That came up last night too. I think we have this faith card here with the cross, and I don't know. I guess they like spelling that in French for some reason. Croy. Test of faith. Mount. I'm thinking Sermon on the Mount. Rock. Steady as a rock. Build your house upon the rock. Firm. Okay. Anything else? We have tattoo and fresco. All right, I don't know what those words might mean. I didn't get any clear sentences coming through today, but maybe those mean something to somebody out there. Let me know. All right, so just to finish this up, should we do? You know what? I'm gonna get one of these. You know what? I'm gonna get one of these. I'm gonna get one of these cards from the Elemental deck. What's it called? Working with the 4 elements. Smudge these real quick. And let's get one of these. We have music is my first love. It's nice coming out with Cleo, because I think she was involved with music as well. And the Sunflower Queen. So Sunflower Queen always makes me think of August. That's when the sunflowers come out. So that could be a timing card. Let's see, music is my first love. Air, that's associated with the element of air, and it's card number 13. So music is my first love says the 2 flowers are embracing themselves in a passionate display of love for each other, moving to the music notes of the wind. The fairies with their wonderful carefree way of life, their worries flowing on the wind currents, to be carried to the angel world, to be dissolved in the cosmos. Let go of your anxieties playing music. When you meditate, this can help you harmonize with the spirit world. Music will be my first love, and this says the elements associated are air and earth. Okay, so music could be a good way to spend that time while you're waiting in the downtime, contemplating your next moves. There could be messages in music too. Whenever that card comes up, I think about that as well. There could be messages in music lyrics. And the Sunflower Queen. The beauty of her aura is flowing in every direction. She is very rarely seen endlessly carrying out her duties. She is very much connected to the geometric angel who builds form, all the time receiving and distributing her power to crops. She is a teacher who works on a very high vibration, and when you go deep in meditation, you will connect with building and geometric angels. Like the sunflower, I will follow the light. So this could also have to do with building something as well. We had the Three of Pentacles that came up. So that's a builder energy as well. And yeah, I mean, that's something you should definitely think about. We had all those words that came up too, like rock, firm, build your house upon a rock. And I don't know if I said that. So someone could be thinking about building something as well. Okay, and one last card to close out your reading. Let me get a little spell for you. I usually think of these spells just as, ideas for the rituals that you can incorporate. Okay. Altar spells. Rainfall Rite. On the first rainy day of the spring season, place a green glass bowl outside as a water catcher. Bring it inside at the end of the day and place it on your altar beside a lit green candle. Say, water of life. You had the green agate too, that's pretty cool. Say, water of life, gift from the sky, we bathe in newfound energy, making spirits fly. Dip your fingers in the water and touch your forehead. Pour the water into the ground of your garden, speaking the spell one last time. Okay. So a little spell for healing and abundance, and timing that around the first rainy day of spring. So that should be coming up pretty soon as well. Good time to get started in the garden. So thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate you for being here. If you enjoy these messages, if you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully I'll have more coming up eventually. It's been 2 years since I filmed any videos, so I'm really happy to be doing that this weekend. And I do hope to make some more and hope to see you all again sometime soon. Thank you, Group 1. Take care. All right, Group 2, welcome to your reading. You chose this key and the tan slice of agate. Right. And to kick off your reading, oh man, this is the card that came out. This is the cover from the Ladenspeelde Tarot de Mantegna. It's signed by Giordano Berti himself. This is deck number 207 out of 300. This is a really special deck. So basically, the Tarot de Mantegna Ladenspeelde deck. These images are from the 15th century, and is thought by scholars that these cards were originally produced as more like what we would think of as flashcards. They were used for educational purposes, to teach people about the theories about the cosmos, Neoplatonism, Apollo and the Muses, the 10 stations of life. There's really interesting cards, but a lot of the images from these cards kind of made it into the Rider-Waite deck. So it's really interesting. But Giordano Berti wrote this really nice little guidebook to go with the cards so that this deck can be used for divination purposes. And he's got all kinds of great information in there. He really studied the history of the cards and their symbolism. So I really appreciate him. And he wrote me a little birthday note, because I asked him when I ordered it on Etsy, I asked him to tell me happy birthday. So he did. It's sweet. Okay. Oh, you got Luna. I decided to go ahead and draw you guys a new card because the one that came out was the cover card. All right. Let's see. Card number 41. Luna. Traveling for work or vacation, attraction to the unknown, dream, love adventure, little anxieties, and gradual change. And then in the shadow aspects, this card could mean an insincere relationship, inconstancy, volubility, whim, lies, nightmare, and possible water-related disease. This iconography of the moon derives from Marcus Manilius's Astronomicon and was used in various Renaissance artistic works, such as the fresco of the Camera delle Stelle in Palazzo Trinchi in Foligno, and in the relief of the Malatesta Temple of St. Francis in Rimini. A woman stands on a cart drawn by 2 horses, and following an elliptical line, flies over an aquatic landscape. With her left hand, she holds the bridle, and with her right, she raises a crescent moon. The 2 horses traditionally represent day and night. For example, the night regime and the diurnal regime of thought and action. According to astrological tradition, the moon is a feminine planet. It is cold, wet, and phlegmatic, and its metal is silver. It governs waters and aquatic works, and the moon also controls the night, the dreams, the unconscious, fantasy, and memory. This figure represents an invitation to not deviate from the path started, to control emotions, feelings, and anxieties. So it's pretty similar to the ideas behind the moon card in tarot. Okay. All right, next I think I'm gonna get some cards from the Working with the 4 Elements deck. The Sunflower King. So I just did group 1's reading, and the Sunflower Queen came out, and now we have the Sunflower King. How funny. So like I said in group 1, the sunflower reminds me of August as far as like a timing card. So if you have any questions about timing, August could be significant. I also keep thinking about the movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because my son is like, he's part of the family, I guess. That's what he calls him. he knows all about that movie. He is a connoisseur of horror cinema, and there's sunflowers in that movie. Okay, let's see. E3. It's funny because the sunflower queen is considered an air element, but the sunflower king is an earth section. Here we go. Okay. The sunflower can tell us a lot if we connect to his energy. From the beginning of time, man has been planting sunflower, watching it growing, standing proud by itself. But the closer you look, you will notice all day it is rotating, seeking out the great power of the sun devas. There's also a beehive of activity around the sunflower. From the fairy world, I don't see it. Bringing their vibrations through the air like radio waves, helping the sunflower to grow and ripen the seeds. Each day, the sunflower is seeking its connection with the sun. Seek out and connect with your spiritual teachers and helpers that are around you always. God in all its forms is around us through our lives. And he's associated with earth and air. So I guess the sunflowers are an earth and air type of thing. It's funny because I would always think of them as a fiery energy personally, because Leo season, they come out in August in Leo season. Okay. Get some Lenormand cards. So we've got Luna and the Sunflower King. A lot of information about like seeking your path, staying focused on your connection with the divine, God, whatever you want to call your higher power. Could also be truth, something like that. Okay, we had a couple of Lenormand that came out. We've got the House and the Rider. So I know the Rider is usually talking about a message. The House kind of gives me like Ten of Cups and Ten of Pentacles vibes. We've got like is that the King of Hearts? It's got the King of Hearts on it too, which is King of Cups, so that's about like stabilizing your emotions. What else does the House mean? Yeah, family, stability, real estate, protection. The House card brings comfort, stability, and feelings of protection. It refers to something important that may require much energy. This could be a house, an inner circle of family or friends, hobbies, businesses, or everyday duties. And at the same time, the House indicates success, protects you from unpleasant issues. The House is about having the courage and desire to fight for one's own interest. It conveys rest, confidence in the future, and the secure feeling of being in your own place on your own terms. It symbolizes people closely connected with the notion of home, households, blood relatives, owners or sellers of real estate, landowners, or domestic workers. It's interesting too because the home building came up in pile 1 as well. And then the Rider represents news, visits, travel, and movement. So someone could be visiting your home. That could be part of it too. You could expect a visitor. This card brings important news, or it could be news like if you're in the process of buying a home, this could be that there's going to be news coming through on that. The neighboring cards highlight positive and negative aspects of this news. The Rider may signal the way out of a future solution to a disturbing issue. This card predicts fresh ideas and business activity, new beginnings. In any case, it indicates that something will soon rush into your life, bringing change. All right, so some of you may be in the market for either buying a home or selling. You're doing some sort of real estate transaction. With the Sunflower King and Luna here, I think there's some guidance coming through to like keep your awareness open, keep focused on the important aspects of the deal that are important to you, and stay on the course, don't give up, but also sort of to surrender and to let things happen the way they're meant to without getting too caught up on the outcome. All right, I'm gonna get some cards, some tarot from the medieval Scapini tarot. And this deck is actually how I found out about the Tarot de Mantegna deck, because there's some symbolism in here that comes straight from the Tarot de Mantegna. What messages for group 2? What messages do we have for group 2? The Queen of Wands, energy, power. She has a little tabby cat on her lap. It's cute. And she's seated on a lion skin, I see as well. She's also got a crescent moon on her throne. Messages do we have? We have the World card. Things coming to fruition, completion, endings, new beginnings. It could talk about travel too. The Moon card was talking about travel. And the Rider could also be about travel. And Justice. So bringing things into balance, karma, Queen of Wands, the World, and Justice. Get some clarification on the Queen of Wands. Also getting the word fertility for the Queen of Wands, which the moon can be associated with fertility, sunflowers as well. We have judgment coming out to clarify the Queen of Wands. So something coming back from the past, some sort of lesson learned. We also have the Justice card out here, the World card. Get some clarification on the World card. Try this way. No. The Pope. That's the Hierophant card here. So doing the right thing. It's interesting. We've got Justice, Judgment, and the Pope. So there's a lot of like doing the right thing type of message here. A lot of major arcana too. We also have the Two of Swords, so like a decision point, and the Page of Coins. So, and that's clarifying the Justice card, which Justice is also about making a decision. And with the Page of Coins here, it's encouraging you to make a decision that's practical, grounded in reality, earth energy. I'm going to read what the book says about the Queen of Wands, though. I feel like there's more here that I'm missing. So the Queen of Wands gazes amiably from her country armchair. Her bosom is full and motherly, her arms sturdy and well-shaped. Like the king, she is red-haired, and her copper crown is wrought as flames. A tabby cat is curled in her lap, and she holds a branch of red flowers. A crescent moon is at the left post of her chair, and a lion's fur is under her feet. To the left and right, two babies, one black and one white, sleep peacefully. Oh, and sunflowers grow in the background. Yeah, of course. Queen of Wands always has sunflowers. More of that sunflower energy coming through. So she can represent a sympathetic and understanding person, friendliness, lovingness, honor, chasteness, practicality, feminine charm and grace, ability for meaningful expression and love, a gracious hostess with a sincere interest in others. In her shadow aspects, she could talk about jealousy, deceit, possible infidelity, unstable emotions, fickleness, resistance, obstacles, and opposition. Yeah, so sometimes the Queen of Wands could represent like the other woman if there's been an affair or something. That could be for somebody, but I don't really feel like that's the core meaning of this card in the reading. I just say that because the Judgment card came out underneath, so that could be like things coming back to haunt you later. But I think she's here more about just maybe someone who can help you. This could be a real estate agent. If you're buying a house, the Queen of Wands could be that person. Someone to help you through it. Someone who has a great personality, very warm personality. And maybe, you know, with the message, the Rider card coming out, Judgment could also be a message because we have the angel blowing the trumpet. So that's a message. So there may be a message coming from a real estate agent, for example, or from somebody, a family member, someone associated with your household. Then we've got the World card, which could be about travel, and the Pope. You could be traveling to to Rome to see the Pope. That could be one idea. But also, that's just the Pope's about doing the right thing, spiritual decisions, going with tradition. What else does it say about the Pope? Let's see what else we've got about the Pope. Card number 5. So he's got all the planets, the planetary symbols on his staff. And the 3 rings of his tiara show the natural world, the middle, and the crown of thorns of Christ's passion, representing worldly life and free will. And at the top, the spiritual realm, represented by simple triangles and circles, with a cross surmounting the whole. The two pillars are from the ciborium of St. Peter's Cathedral in Rome. At the foot of the throne, the 7 vices are depicted: pride, wrath, lust, gluttony, envy, sloth, and avarice. Okay. The Pope triumphs over the sins of the world. Oh, so we have the world and the Pope triumphing over the sins of the world. 2 monks kneel, one on each side of the platform. The angle of the throne, which seems to be leaning forward, symbolizes mercy and receptiveness to the needs of others. Okay, and then the world, I want to see what else is in here about the world. These cards have tons of symbolism in here. The world card, a young girl, almost a child, stands nude in the middle of a wreath. She holds 2 wands, one black and one white. So we had also with the Queen of Wands, a black child and a white child in the background. So we have a black wand and a white wand here. That symbolizes polarity between darkness, light, day, night, that kind of thing. The wreath around her is composed of flowers and fruit and is twined with the alchemical snake. At the corners are the symbols of the elements and of the planets. Stars are above, near an angel and an eagle, and clouds billow fire below, near a lion and a bull. Medieval symbolism matches the lion with the element fire and the evangelist St. Mark, the bull with earth in St. Luke, the angel or man with air in St. Matthew, and the eagle with water and St. John. So there's some overlapping symbolism there between the world and the Pope, talking a lot about like Hermetic symbolism and the Gospels, the planets, the vices. So yeah, ethics, I think the key I'm getting there from the world and the Pope together is talking about relying on your ethics to make a decision about whatever sort of message is coming forward. And we also come back to that Sunflower King and Luna, and that's talking about staying focused on the light, staying focused on your path, and not getting too attached to the outcome once again. And then we have justice. Decisions going to be made. This could also be about contracts. I really feel like someone here is trying to buy a house because that the house came out. And yeah, justice can be about legal issues like contracts and things. It could also be about like a marriage or a divorce or any sort of decision where you're trying to do the right thing. And yeah, so making a practical decision that makes sense. Yeah, okay, so any other guidance? Let's get some animal spirit oracle cards. This tan color or brown color of agate, and that brown color I always think of as associated with legal issues as well. There could be also issues of marriage here, though, too, because we have the house, the justice card, the Pope, and judgment. And that world card can sometimes mean like ending one phase of a relationship but beginning a new one. So someone could be going through either a marriage or a divorce. Okay, what messages do you have? Luna and the Sunflower King. I'm having issues. Okay. The elk, earth energy, and the mouse. More earth energy. The elk has sort of a emperor kind of energy, virility, I think. Oh, let's read the mouse first because I have it right here. Okay, the mouse is detail-oriented, small-minded, nitpicky, and nervous. When in balance, it's organized, resourceful, and prepared. And when out of balance, it's busy with no purpose. To bring into balance, you need a meaningful project. Okay. The mouse has an innate desire to tend to the details, often spends its days fixing, preparing, organizing, and scrutinizing. It kind of reminds me of like Virgo energy. Unfortunately, a mouse personality doesn't notice when they've gone too far. Soon they begin to have a limited and fearful vision of life and try to control every detail. This can be quite a painful experience for both the mouse and those around them. When mouse energy is at play, step back for a moment. It may be time to find a more purposeful project to delve into, one that's worthy of your exacting eye. Okay. And the elk is stable, resilient, headstrong, and the father, which the Pope can also be like father energy too. The great elk represents the earth element in its masculine form. And we also have the Sunflower King too, so that's also some masculine energy there. This means it provides underlying support and stability amidst life's many changes. An elk personality is fully established in themselves and knows their core values. They become known and respected for acting in ways that uphold those values. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most part, they make good fathers, mothers, lovers, and friends. The world needs more elk energy. When in balance, supportive, kind, and consistent. When out of balance, pretentious, high, and mighty. To bring into balance, eat and drink more consciously. Okay, so yeah, elk's talking about that stability. That's similar messaging with the house. And also ethics are coming into play, and that is a message that came through with both justice, judgment, the Pope, and the World card coming out. So be sure to lean into your values when you're making decisions. Make sure that those decisions you're making are lined up with your actual spiritual values and not just like temporary materialistic ideas. You want to be practical, but also don't just be selfish and greedy, you know, like what do you really believe in? What's really important to you? Focusing on that higher vision, higher power. Get a yogic path oracle card. I think we'll close it out here. Oh wait, well, yeah, let's go ahead and do this and we'll close it out. Okay, we have prana, life force energy. So tuning in, maybe meditating or just spending some, you could do yoga. Also with the elk card, it said to pay attention to what you're eating and drinking, our food and drinks, and the time we spend in the sun also contribute to our prana, the relationships that we have with other people. So just checking in with your energy, noticing how you're feeling, and letting that prana, life force energy flow through you as you're going through your life and focusing on your path. And I wanted to get some Scrabble tiles too here. Forgot to do that. I'm also, with that prana card coming up, and we've got the Sunflower King and Luna here. Also, just it's important to balance like your lunar and solar energy, your heating and cooling energy. So that's something to keep in mind too. Let's see. Okay, I've got the word color. Shake. Tapas. Color, shake, and tapas. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Anything else? Dosha. So dosha's coming out too. You can look up Ayurveda and the 3 doshas. Ask. Ask house. Okay, I'm going to ask a question about this house. Okay, what does group 2 need to know about the house? Okay, I don't know. I don't know if any of this makes any sense to anybody. We've got ride, date, king, and hive coming up. What do we need to know about the house? Oh, AUG, August. Keep getting the month of August coming up. REVIVE, revive. Tan. Do. D-U-E, do. I don't know. Thought there was gonna be more coming through here. Let's see. Let me ask one more time. Anything else we need to know about the house for anyone in group 2 who might be trying to buy a house or sell a house? Okay, I've got make. Make an offer. I'm hearing that coming through. Buy. I'm also getting the word Google. Oh wait, there's only one O, but it still came through. Google. Make, buy. So maybe there's a need to make an offer. Clue. Game. Clue game. What is that supposed to mean? Clue game. Okay, maybe this is all just about the mansion from the Clue game. I don't know. All right, what about anyone who is dealing with maybe a legal issue like related to marriage or divorce or children, something like that? Anyone facing some sort of a legal decision? Toy. Relent. We also have toy, relent. We've also got joy and unite. Nice. loner. Joy, unite, loner. Got tie. Dyslexics of the world, untie. We also have reunite. Reunite. And we have loony. Cool. Well, thank you all for being here. I appreciate your time with me, and I hope that you enjoyed this reading and hopefully got something out of it. And if you enjoyed this content and want to see more of it, if you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great one. Group 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the purple slice of agate and this key right here. And I've got 2 cards from the Tarot de Mantegna Laudenspelder deck to kick off your reading. Oh, Iliaco. So you can see Iliaco is holding a sphere. He's holding the moon, I think, and he's holding it in front of the sun. So it's that eclipse. He represents the eclipse. And I heard on the astrology podcast there is going to be an eclipse in August that's going to be passing over Greenland. And last year when JD Vance was out there and made that big stink, there was an eclipse over Greenland at that time as well. So eclipse energy is usually not very good, y'all, but it's very intense for sure. Oh, we also have Rhetorica. This is one of my favorite cards from the Tarot de Mantegna. She reminds me of the Queen of Swords. Like, she's got this armor, like jeweled armor and stuff. Her crown is like a helmet too. She's pretty awesome. All right. So Iliaco and Rhetorica. Rhetorica can be about negotiations too. Why would you guys want to know about what's going on with Greenland though? Like, is that why you're here, Group 3? I mean, let's see. Iliaco. Okay, so let's read about what the book says. So Iliaco could mean a bright idea, an ambitious project, creativity, reattained clarity, and a problem being resolved. Or it could also mean reverie, a daydream, pursuit of a utopia, or an unattainable project. A winged angel lifts the sphere of the moon and places it almost exactly in front of his face, thus covering the radiant sun. It could mean an eclipse of the sun, which also would mean a loss of rationality, but also a positive union of the 2 stars. An eclipse is a conjunction, right? The sun and the moon, or sometimes the sun and the earth and the moon. A possible play on words between Iliacus and Helios, another name of the sun, can be highlighted, but it can be a coincidence. Another coincidence may be the similarity with the term iliko that the Gnostics assigned to a category of individuals enslaved by their passions. If we take as a reference the symbol of light, which has always expressed the truth that manifests itself before human reason, we can say that the iliac represents the mental capacities thanks to which individuals are able to understand the reality that surrounds them and decide how to act. This figure invites us to reflect on the day and night lights that illuminate your thoughts, to project them into us, to investigate the emotions of our soul and choose the best path. Okay. So it's about facing reality for sure, especially with Rhetorica here. I think she backs up that idea of facing reality. She reminds me a lot of the Queen of Swords. So Rhetorica is one of the fields of study that's represented in this deck. In upright, she represents explanation, disclosure, promotion, advertising, seeking consent or celebrity, and convincing arguments, most importantly. Reversed, she can mean deception, verbal artifice, hidden advertising, penalizing promotion, and defamation. A young woman is standing as she holds a raised sword in her left hand and holding a flap of her cloak with the right hand. She has a crowned helmet and her chest is protected by a finely decorated armor. At her feet, to her left and right, 2 cherubs play the clarion. Rhetoric, or the art of saying, has the purpose of persuading listeners on the correctness of the arguments presented for and against by separating them as with a sword. The use of logical arguments is supported by figurative concepts, ringing like trumpets, in order to arouse interest and consensus. This form of eloquence is therefore a real persuasion technique whose highest purpose is to convince people to make choices for the common good. More about choices, yeah. However, there are also negative aspects. Rhetoric can be used to deceive and thereby obtain personal or patronage benefits. Okay. So let's get some tarot cards. I think I'll use the Rider-Waite. Messages to have for group 2. We had the 8 of Cups flip out. Did come out reversed. You may be thinking about leaving something behind, or coming back to something that you left behind. The King of Wands. That's so interesting too, because like something that's tying the 3 readings together today, we had the Sunflower Queen come out in group 1, and then the Sunflower King came out in group 2, and the Queen of Wands came out in group 2, and now we've got the King of Wands. And I always think of sunflowers with the wands, personally. It's interesting. Okay. And the Knight of Cups. So we've got someone walking away from something. Oh, and look at the moon on the Eight of Cups card. I never noticed that before, but it looks just like the moon being held in front of the sun on the Iliaco card. Some sort of eclipse energy. And you know what, King of Wands, I was just talking about the sunflowers and everything. This reminds me of August, Leo season. And that's when that eclipse is supposed to be happening. I'm going to get some astrology cards for you guys. And then the Knight of Cups is about moving forward with an offer. We've got Rhetorica here. It was talking about how sometimes rhetoric can be used to deceive. And sometimes the Knight of Cups can tell people what they want to hear. Y'all might want to listen to the astrology podcast too, because they were talking a lot about this upcoming eclipse. Where are my astrology cards? I think these are all of them. I'm going to use the astrology cards that I have, that I found. So it's like a lot of timing stuff here, eclipse, symbolism, August timeline. And a need to be convincing but not deceptive, and be good at hearing the truth and not being deceived by rhetoric. Eclipses. Waxing gibbous. Okay, we have the 5th house of good fortune. Children, creativity, pleasure, and sex. So check your birth chart and see where your 5th house is. Okay, it's different for everybody. I'm a traditional astrologer in training. So look it up. It depends on where the sun, which sign was your ascendant in at the time of your birth. So look it up in your birth chart. For me, the 5th house is Leo. No, my 1st house is Leo. Now, some people think of Leo as being 5th house, but it's not. Okay, never mind. I got confused. I forgot I was a traditional astrologer in training for a second. Okay, first quarter, willpower, organization, decision-making, and pushing through obstacles. First quarter moon. I don't remember where we are right now. I think we're in a waning gibbous right now. Zodiac signs. Venus pop up for a second. So you might check for when the moon is in your 5th house as well. We've got the DC, your descendant, on the western horizon. A lot of times that is usually that's going to be in the 7th house. I guess maybe not always, but usually. And then we have Sagittarius. That's where my 5th house is. Adventure, risk, goal-oriented, easygoing, philosophical, friendly, independent, confident, self-righteous, and blunt. And Sagittarius is a mutable sign, a fire sign ruled by Jupiter. And we've got the King of Wands here. And to me, all the kings and queens of each suit represent people who have an astrological connection with that element. So Sagittarius is, like, if you're Sagittarius sun, this would be your card, at least as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Angles. These are all the headers. Planets and asteroids. Okay, let's get some actual... Got the IC open out. Virgo, gentle, kind, personal hygiene, fussy, humble, analytical, critical, and responsible, mutable Earth and Mercury ruled, and lunations. all the headings are popping out. Just pay attention to the astrology, guys. Y'all might want to watch the astrology podcast. And you need to watch it for your rising sign if you're going to watch like one of their, if it's a tailored video for your zodiac sign, watch it for your rising sign. And we have Chiron, wounded healer. Okay. Put these away for a second. Get a card from the Yogic Path Oracle. Okay, we have Kali. That is a disruptive energy. Let's see here. Kali is the goddess of destruction, disillusion, and ecstasy. You draw upon Kali when you are in a time of radical rebirth. She is fierce, erratic, untamed, the part of you that you're afraid to give full control to because you don't know where it will take you. She will destroy all disillusion and bring you face to face with your darkest shadows, not to cause anguish, but rather from a deep place of love. She demolishes the ego that creates the boundary between you and your highest self. She is the ecstasy experienced in an orgasm, meditation, bold self-expression, or pushing a child out of the womb. Kali comes to you in a time of deep liberation, stepping into the truer form of you. Trust the process and allow yourself to release all limitations so you can become one with the bliss that you are. Okay. Let's get a Woodland Warden's card. What does group 3 need to be aware of? Why is Kali here? Why is the eclipse here? Fox and Ivy, adaptability. Well, that's good advice. When things are shaky and scary, it's good to be adaptable and strategic. You know, so the fox always reminds me of strategy and cunning, being able to face reality like we were talking about earlier. 27. Don't let people schmooze ya. Watch out for used car salesmen, by the way. Y'all have the Knight of Cups and that Rhetorica card, and then the fox popping up. Not that, you know, I'm sure there's plenty of used car sales people who are very ethical and reliable, but there's probably some who are not, you know, as with any trade. I want to pick on used car salespeople in particular. You know, there's lots of people you got to watch out for. Okay, so foxes are cunning, quick thinking, and clever. When paired with ivy, a hardy plant that flourishes even in harsh environments, the fox reminds us to apply our cleverness toward adaptability. Allow the fox's ingenuity to guide you. Nimbleness and adaptability will suit you well in your endeavors. Your stubbornness may be holding you back. Remain open-minded and beware of becoming stuck in your ways. Do I feel stuck? And how can I adapt to changes in my life? Okay. King of Wands, Leo, is in his Leo aspect, definitely very stubborn too. Okay. Get some messages from the Scrabble tiles. King of Wands can also have that I don't want to pick on used car salespeople, but you know, like that too good to be true kind of schmoozing vibe that ends up not being what it was advertised to be. Okay, let's get some tiles. I want to know why we have the eclipse energy here, and also why is Goddess Kali here? Steno? Like a steno pad? Why? Why would that be coming up? Nag? Waft? Magazine. We have the whole word, magazine. And the word yes. Okay, so when I asked Why we have the eclipse showing up? That's what came out. At least that was the first thing that came out. I'll look into it more later. Okay, so why is Goddess Kali here? I have the word house. Oh, okay. That could have something to do with my house now that I think about it. My house is a little spooky and kooky. I'll have to tell you all about that later. Let's see, cold. Fund. House, cold, fund. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, let's see. What else do you have for us? What else do we need to know about this reading? Let's see. Is there some sort of danger coming for group 3? Because we have Goddess Kali, the goddess of destruction. We have the eclipse. That's not a auspicious sign. I do have the word eclipse here. I had to use a blank for the P. Eclipse. Look. 5th. We had that word house coming out earlier. I don't know if I can add it back in now. I don't have another H. Eclipse 5th. We've got raw. Sun, Sunday, raw Sunday, nine, eclipse 5th, raw Sunday, 9, and yes, I was gonna write years. That's 9 years. What happens every 9 years? Is that it's not Pluto. Okay, list house. I feel like somebody's been watching the whole reading who is asking about a house. Like that keeps coming up. List house. Don't do it on the eclipse though. Don't do anything on the eclipse. Face. Face today. Wisdom. years list your house, not on the eclipse. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Wisdom and fun. Okay. What do we need to know about Rhetorica and the Knight of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Fox? Like, anything that group 3 needs to look out for? I'm going to get some fresh tiles, actually, for this question. When dealing with negotiations or people who are trying to talk them into something or sell them something or vice versa, what does group 3 need to know? Mind. No. Start. Lust. And that word start could also be star. Realize, the British spelling. Take note. I mean, I think they're just trying to give us some sensible advice. Like, just know your stuff, man. Do your homework. Take note, take notes. Don't be anybody's fool. Don't be anybody's fool. Remind. Might have to remind people about things. Oh, lesson. Let your lessons remind you. Remember your lessons that you've already learned. Okay. Well, there's some messages there. Those are probably the messages that made the most sense today from the Scrabble tiles. Okay, at least to me. I mean, I wonder if some of these might have more meaning to whoever's listening. Hope so. Okay, so let me get some cards from the Lenormand. Oh my gosh, we've got the ship, travel, Things happening overseas. Birds. Oh, I love this one with the little doves. I love birds. And that's a yellow rose. It represents friendship. But those birds are making out. And heart. Oh, like some Valentine's stuff going on here for you guys. What does this ship mean? I think it just means travel. Trip, foresight, growth, opportunity, success in business, especially on a trip. Something new rushing into a person's life and changing it. Sometimes cardinally can represent change. Okay. In combination with negative cards, it can warn about possible troubles. And it suggests changes in the customary way of life and positive potential. But like some of our other cards are negative, but then some of our other two Lenormand cards are actually really positive. We've got the birds, conversations, training and communication, phone calls, emails, conversation. It could involve gossip, rumor, or speculation. But I'm really getting like love vibes. In a relationship spread, this card indicates doubts and uncertainties. But look at this, birds are in love with each other. They're not doubting it. Okay, but events could lead to a new vision of the partnership with greater intimacy and attentiveness. Okay, so maybe there's something that's going to shake things up, test your relationship, but it could lead to better things, okay? Sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together. All right, and then the heart. So the heart represents love, friendship, harmony, happiness, and support. The heart indicates comfort, happiness, and a harmonious, loving relationship. See, I told you. And it can refer to new relationships or increased feelings in established relationships, including close friendships. Yeah, what doesn't break you makes you stronger, right? That's what we're getting here. This card can bring serendipity, support from others, prosperity, and satisfaction in many areas. In a relationship spread, it indicates harmony with the beloved, bringing emotional comfort and support. Okay, yeah, so I think that for some of you also, like, there may be like some sort of difficult situation that you've either been through in the past or coming up to soon. It's going to cause a lot of disruption, or it did cause a lot of disruption. And these Lenormand cards are telling you, if you can work that out and be true and authentic and real and face reality for what it is, then those sort of situations can make your relationships stronger. But they're a test, right? Because not all relationships are able to survive the test of authenticity and reality and turbulence. So be adaptable. Be ready for what comes, and if the relationships that you're involved with end up falling away, you have to walk away because it turns out they couldn't pass that test of authenticity, and then that's because those are the relationships that were meant to fall away so that better things can come towards you. I'm going to get some cards from the Working with the Four Elements deck. have Earth Angel, card E1. You can see it. Okay. So Earth Angel is from the hierarchy of intelligences with a specific job to do on Earth. Her brilliant aura is flowing down to the earth. The flowers around her head are the symbol she is working with the nature spirits and herbal plants for healing. Speak and work with the plant kingdom. In this way, your contact with the angel world will become stronger. I give to the earth as it gives to me. And I'm also getting the message to stay grounded, keep your feet on the ground, face reality, and be open to messages from the higher power. What else? I feel like there's something else we need to close out this reading. I'm gonna get one of these spell cards, and then I'll let you go. If you haven't already left me. I have a moon spell. New Moon Floral Protection Charm. This potpourri is great for clearing the way for anything new in your life and planting spiritual seeds for new moon beginnings. So let me think. A lunar eclipse always happens at the new moon, right? Right? Should have read that card when it popped up. You need the following fresh flowers: carnation, cyclamen, marigold, rose, and snapdragon. Place the flower petals in a bowl and then sprinkle them with a few drops of geranium, clove, and cinnamon oil. Place the mixture on the south point of your altar for the duration of a full lunar cycle. After a few moon cycles, you can sprinkle the flower petals in your garden, where their energy will continue to protect you and your loved ones. Okay, so a message for protection. I know I said I was going to close it with that, but I want to get one more card. It's definitely good advice for you, Group 3. Be sure to protect yourself while being adaptable. And keep your wits about you. Face reality. Don't try to make things fit. Don't believe schmoozers. That Eight of Cups that came out reversed too could mean someone from your past who walked away, walking back. So watch out for that. Octopus. What does the octopus say? First, I'm thinking of clinging tentacles, but there's more to the octopus than that. Reaching, yearning, lacking boundaries and direction. The octopus signifies a wonderfully perceptive mind paired with a lack of healthy boundaries. Unfortunately, this results in well-intended but messy relationships. The octopus entwines itself into other people's business and shares their own without restraint. They believe that's what it means to be close. If you notice after spending time with someone that you feel drained or uneasy, the essence of octopus is at play. Begin to establish healthy boundaries. Be patient and firm, and it may be a very old habit to change. When in balance, the octopus is interested, engaged, and intelligent. When out of balance, needy, clingy, and lacks courage. To bring into balance, get space to yourself and talk therapy. So yeah, definitely hold up some healthy boundaries and don't just accept what people tell you. Let them show you that they mean it. Actions speak louder than words. All right, well, thank you, Group 3. I appreciate you being here, and I hope that you got something out of this. If you would like to see more of my content, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and have a good one. Take care.